Hello friends, I am going to show you how to create a gradebook on Aeries and then also how to populate your report cards. So it'll take like a few minutes, but if you've already made your gradebooks, you don't have to pay attention to the first part. If you go to Gradebook on the side, so you're just on pages when you log in, mine will look a little different, maybe not, because I have access to all the students, but maybe your students show up here. So you go to Gradebook, or you can hit the link right here. So this is actually your scores by class. I haven't really used it because I've been using an Excel spreadsheet, but I'm going to show you. If you go to Dashboard, I added my gradebooks here, but I want to show you a trick. So when you create your gradebook, make sure you name it right here. I put Longhorn 1718. Make sure, don't hit all year, hit the 3 different trimesters, because you don't want to have to make a new gradebook every trimester. You just want to have your categories already set. So make sure you hit these 3 and then save with the name. Do not hit the whole year, it gets messed up. I don't know why, but that's what I was told. So when you get to this point, you should have your gradebook set up. Let's go to manage. So when you first set up your gradebook, you'll get to this page, go to options. There's really not much in options you have to do. Even though we're using rubric grading scale, we're actually getting letter grades, and then the standards are filling in as 1, 2, 3, 4. So you don't have to worry about anything on here. Categories is the big one. So this is how you're going to want to set up. This should reflect the report card. So I know I have my homework, pyramid of success, reading, writing, math, social studies, science, Mandarin, if that applies to you, and then electives. You can actually add more. The key is when you're doing an assignment that you really need to have these set up, because every assignment you have to go add what category it's going to go into. So now that that's set up, you can go to your assignments. I just put in 1 already, but go to add assignment. So here is really where the magic happens as far as adding standards that will be able to populate your report cards. So let's say I did a newsella. I did one on climate change, but let's say it's on, I don't know, sharks. And it's just formative as well. And then here's where your categories are. So these are all the ones that when you created your gradebook, and this is going to go primarily under reading. However, there's substandards, right? I do not want to add all of the English standards, because in all of the English standards, you have listening, speaking, reading, research, inquiry, writing. They're not really doing any listening. So I'm going to go and individually add reading. They're doing some research and writing because that's part of newsella. Hit OK. So these are the standards that this grade or this assignment will go towards when you're populating into your report cards. And then you just fill it in. So the day that it was due, let's say points possible, grading's completed. If it's not completed, then when you go to scores by class, it won't be red. It'll still be green. If you put grading completed, then the missing assignments will show up red. So save and close. So then I'll populate another one. So if you have assignments and they do not have standards attached to them, your grades will not be transferred over into your report cards. If you go to manage students, you should have your class list added. If not, at the top, it'll say, do you want to add your students? You hit yes, and you add them all, and they'll be populated into your gradebook. And that's legitimately all. It's super easy. You're not going to be pushing assignments to other gradebooks or importing assignments from gradebooks. You're just going to be adding assignments, and depending on the trimester, will be the different color. But the most important thing I can tell you is just to add your standards. So when you're done with that, you can actually go up to the top and go straight to standards-based grades. That's how you're going to populate your report cards. So if you're confused about what your category should look like, this is the report card right here. To the left are all of the standards that are attached. So for instance, let's say I did all my grading, but I didn't have my social studies standard attached to anything on my assignments, then there will be no grade populated into your social studies. And that's the reason I put like a pyramid of success gradebook. So I had standards attached to that, so it'll populate when I populate it over. The way that you do that is going to load grades from Gradebook. So you go there, and then you just hit next, which you would put 5, which is the only, or whatever your grade level is. Next, it walks you through it, and you just populate your report cards. And it's super easy. I still would double check each student's report card and when you're adding the comments just to make sure that their grade really reflects their ability, because sometimes maybe we didn't add as many standards to a assignment or to multiple assignments, so it doesn't really reflect what they know. So you are going to have to look at these individually, but it's super easy. You can also get to your standards-based grades over here, right underneath Gradebook. So remember, Gradebook is where you enter assignments. Standards-based grades is where you populate your report cards. And now that the grading window's open, the report card window's open, you can do that. So I don't know if I was really confusing, but hopefully you guys get the gist. I think that's all. If you guys have any questions, email me. But this was just kind of a quick coverage. It's a little different from last year, but it looks pretty much the same as far as report cards. I think just the side is a little bit different. Anyways, thank you. Hope it helped.